I have a little clip of her.
All right, very good. Okay, I don't want to skip this break because we skipped one earlier tonight. So let's do
the break, and then we'll show some remote viewing when we get back.
Yeah, this will be fun. Hold on. Be right back with Richard in just a couple minutes. Dick Allgire about some of his remote viewing hits. And talk about that old expression, the hits keep coming. Wow. Go up to guests and look under Richard Allgire, and you'll see, click here to view many recent scores. These are big hits, big scores. So if you click on that, it'll bring up a page at Rents News, and you'll say, it says right at the top, Dick Allgire's stunning remote viewing hits. Look and be amazed. And they're all lined up in one nice scroll. So what you'll see is a piece of news headline reproduced on the right from a magazine or an internet site or newspaper or whatever. And then on the left, you'll see the whiteboard that Dick works on when he's in his remote viewing state of mind. Okay, Richard, tell us what we're looking at here. The first one is Kim Jong Un executes general by throwing him in a piranha-filled fish tank. We don't know if that's true or not, but what do we? I don't know what we know.
What we do every month is, and I'm not alone, we have Daz Smith and Edward Reardon, and I should have included some of their work, or we'll get them on. But at our crypto viewing Patreon site, we have a site, patreon.com/cryptoviewing, where we have subscribers get to see our work every month on the 30th or 31st of the month. We publish some sketches of what we think will be the top news events and trends for the coming month. So these are a few of the hits. And in May, I was in my session and I saw Kim Jong Un, and I said, well, there's going to be news about some dramatic development, like a coup attempt or trouble within. There's going to be a fight, and some dramatic news is going to come out. So this, he's apparently been executing his generals and after the failed meeting with Trump, he got really in a bad mood, and he's been having a shakeup. So that was
now remote viewing. Richard, remote viewing would suggest that that's real, that he was in a rage and he had somebody to blame, and he took it out on them. And you'll see that the drawing, it's unquestionably Kim. Now, how do you task yourself without front-loading yourself? I want people to understand how you were blind to this.
Yeah.
It's quasi-front-loading. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not exactly remote viewing. It's what we call tagging. It's a side skill of remote viewing. And so what I do is I create a target ID that would be NFE, Near Future Events, 619. So I'm just sitting there and I'm putting that in my mind. NFE,
so that's all you're giving yourself. You're giving yourself a generic 619 future event kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah. And I know that it's going to be events. So I sit down in a semi-darkened room, and sometimes I do an actual session, paper and pen, where I write that down, at NFE 619, and then I make what's called an ideogram, and I probe it. But on some of these, I just go get in a quiet space, because I've been doing it so long. I can just go to where I need to go, and then I see Kim Jong Un in front of my eyes. I go, that's Kim Jong Un. Boy, he's mad. He's angry about something. There's going to be a shakeup, and it'll be dramatic. Now, I didn't see a person in a fish tank being devoured. That would have been something. I'll try next time. Sometimes I get stuff that's that specific, but yeah, I just knew something was going to be up with Kim Jong Un.
All right.
Now, I think I talked about the Notre Dame.
That's not Elvis Presley. I see.
Yeah.
But
I
see,
think
you
the
didn't.
Notre Dame stuff we talked about last time, but that was such a dramatic one. I didn't know it was Notre Dame, but I saw white smoke in a city And I go, oh, man, there's going to be a fire that the whole world is going to be watching.
All right, how did you tag yourself with this? What did you give yourself in the beginning? I want people to understand how much there's not enough there to really figure it out in most cases.
Yeah, I did this in January, actually. So
right.
this was produced
this is
on
6
January
months ago
30th.
almost. Yeah.
Yeah, it was prior to the event, but that was one of the big visual events of the spring. I mean, if you look at top world events, that was a big one. So I saw this white smoke, and I saw a lot of buildings around it, and I thought, what am I seeing? Is this like a 9/11? But the smoke is white. And then I saw people watching, and I said, their faces are frozen, disbelief, they're aghast, they're stunned.
Yeah.
So I knew it was going to be it. My take on it was live TV, people around the world watching, and people looking, going, oh my God, oh, this is horrible.
You actually saw that television image of that crowd of people before it even happened. That's incredible. That's three-dimensional, real imagery, and you saw that before those people gathered there, before they stood there, before they expressed shock. You saw that. That's astonishing.
Well, it was bound to happen. It was the pieces were in place that was going to happen by January. That was going to happen, or in some place it was already happening or has already happened. I don't understand the physics. It still baffles me, but it was a done deal. I saw those people there, and I saw the fire. So that's was pretty amazing. That was a pretty good one. What's the next one? Oh, this one's from Hawaii, the missing woman, and this again was partially front-loaded.
But how partially? All right.
Well, someone from Maui contacted me and said, "Can you? There's this. We're looking for this missing woman. What happened to her?" And they thought her boyfriend had killed her, or they thought they didn't know where she was. So I took a look, and I saw this. I said, "Well, she fell down a ravine." Actually, the way it came to me, Jeff, is I got real quiet, and I heard the smacking of her body. Oh, like hitting rocks, like falling down. So that's what got me on. I go, oh man, she's hurt. She fell.
Right away, you tuned in. Let me say, that suggests you were listening to something in the past. That suggests that everything there ever was, there ever is, and ever will be is all there in the Akashic record, or whatever you want to call it. It's all there. How can that be? That's too much to imagine.
Because it's energy waveforms, and the waveforms of the event are like, okay, remember the movie Contact with Jodie Foster, and it starts with the Earth, and you hear the radio broadcast, and you go farther out past the moon and past the sun, and you hear old-time radio, and you hear like one small step.
Right.
You hear radio, those radio waves from Earth are traveling out, and they're out in space. So you could, everything that exists or happens is has its own waveform energy, and it's still happening.
We're adding to it right now. That's right.
We're adding to it right now. So that event of that lady falling down the ravine is still happening in its own time, and the energy is there. It's an event. Like, okay, I'm going to hit my desk with my hand. All right? That creates an energy wave pattern. I'm going to do it again. Well, that first time I did it, those energy doesn't go away. It's still there. It's like recorded. It's just back in time when it happened. and your subconscious can go back to that time. So yeah, I heard her falling down the hill, and that got my attention. That sound of her, and I go, "What was that?" And I closed my eyes, and I saw the ravine where she fell. And
you didn't have to go into a particular trance or anything. You just did it.
Well, my mind was right. I was in a alpha brainwave nearing theta. I mean, to do that.
Relax.
To do each of these sketches, Jeff, is 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes.
Right.
It's not just. I mean, it's a lot of work. So anyway, they found her, and she was alive after 17 days in the ravine that I had drawn.
Wow. She was eating. What was she eating? Guava or
guava.
What are those little round things? Are they called guava?
Yeah. They're yellow and pink on the inside. They're good. Yeah, they have a lot of hard seeds, but you can apparently live off of them.
Very good. Well,
and
has she written you a thank you?
No, they didn't give up. They didn't give up.
You told them not to.
Yeah.
Very good. All right.
You could.
Okay.
The thing is, with those missing people, all remote viewers get asked all the time, and there are so many, and most of them are so tragic. We don't want to. You can't work a lot of those. Somebody asked me personally. Okay, the next one. I saw the White House. I said, "There's the White House." Oh, there's a man at the fence, and something's going on. I didn't see the fire, but I said, "Oh, there's going to be a significant event at the." So we published this in April as a May event, and it happened. A couple weeks later, a guy set himself on fire and then died, and it prompted they're going to build a new White House fence. So I said the White House fence is going to be in the news. And it was.
There it is. Look at the picture on the whiteboard, which takes, again, 15, 20 minutes, maybe more. For those of you not able to see it, May 1, near-term events. Dick drew the White House. That's the White House, no question about it. He wrote White House, ? Structure setback, security personnel, fence, man, incident, security officers rush, surround man, and that's exactly the story. Wow.
Sometimes, Jeff, these come to me. It takes me a few minutes. I prep it. I get into the right state, and I'm in a room with a red light, and I'm listening to tones that put me in the right state. I have a pad to draw on, and I just kind of do this thing to get myself into a theta brainwave, and then they'll come at me like a little slideshow, like a little, oh, there's the White House, oh, there's this, there's that, and I have to draw real quick. So in 20 minutes, I can get 2 or 3 of them, then I have to cool back down. This one was very specific. The livestock, I looked, and I was in like a barn, like a...
Next sketch.
Yeah, I knew I was inside a building where they had livestock, but there was no livestock. I said, this is like an empty chicken coop, but it's a big one. And I go, oh, all the chickens are going to die. Mm-hmm. So we published that out, and California had 1 million birds euthanized because they had some disease or something.
Newcastle, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe an avian flu, but they'll just go through and wipe them out.
Yeah. And then the floods, that's pretty obvious. We knew
that's Scroll
the
down
flood,
to the next one. Yeah.
That's a pretty safe bet. I saw a levee breaking, and there was a levee breaking. Julian Assange.
Well, hold on before we go on. I want to commend you on your drawing. It's very hard to do what you do, and you're not a talented, accomplished professional artist, but you draw with the same kind of visual impact that the sound of your remote viewing successes creates in the mind, and it's a perfect expression. All right, next up.
It gets I'm enough to get the point across, like how
you
do
got
you draw
it. There you go.
breaking, and so
right, you did
it. because I've been doing it so long, you start with stick figures, and then it's like, how do I draw this? And sometimes I practice it. Like one time I saw a mountain climber, and then I went to sketch it, and I didn't know how to. Wait, how do their arms go? And and I actually posed on a mirror and looked at. Oh, it's bent at this angle, and so it's practice. Yeah, we're going to have trouble with food, Jeff, because of the weather. That's the bigger picture. Is have your storable food from Numana.
Don't disregard what Dick just said. There is no corn planted, no soy in many. I don't eat corn or soy, but for those who do, and that's the majority of people, there are going to be extremely elevated food prices and perhaps shortages this fall. And I'm not kidding. So you better put a couple months away so you'll be safe, secure. You will never have a better state of peace of mind than when you have food storage. Go ahead.
Yeah. We're seeing that. We're actually doing some private remote viewing on things that are coming with weather, climate. It looks like there could be some issues, and that ties in with cryptocurrency because I've always been a gold guy. I loved Andy Goss, and I bought gold from Andy Goss, and because of your show, I've been into gold. But if something happens, gold is not too portable, and cryptocurrencies are.
How about silver?
Oh God, silver's even worse, and I've got some silver. So
I want to change that silver into something else.
Well, I change it into cryptocurrencies is probably what I'll do.
That's right.
Because the thing is with cryptocurrencies, for those who don't know, if you need to bug out, you can take, like if you lose your computer or your cell phone that your wallet is on, you can recreate that. They have seed words. There'll be like 12 words. You can write those down or memorize them or mail them to yourself, and then you could go to another country and you could have all your wealth back on your cell phone just by entering those words. So and I think that's partially what they were designed for, is they need to keep a record of everyone's identity, and in the coming times it will be a digital identity. They're gonna give smartphones to like 2 billion people in the third world. They're bringing those people up into the digital age. That's the plan.
Right. Well, they just blasted off a bunch of Elon's satellites, and they're going to ring the planet. There'll be nowhere you can go, and you'll be out of touch, as it were. All right, Julian Assange. How much?
Julian Assange. This one I published when he was still at the embassy. This one I put up months ago. This was
how much front-loading data did you get?
Well, what's going to be a news event coming up, and
that's it.
Julian Assange.
This is important. You just said what's going to be an important news event coming up. That's it. That's all he was. All right. I want people to understand that.
And I saw Julian Assange, and I recognized him, so I drew him. But I said, "Oh, he's going to have a health problem." I said, "Depression, mental."
Yeah.
You
saw him in your remote viewing eye. All right.
Yeah, and I published that one last fall.
Yeah.
Before there was anybody knew how bad he was.
Right.
In public.
Yeah.
So when I saw that, and I did that a couple of times. I kept saying, Julian Assange has got trouble. They're gonna hurt him, and there's something. His health is an issue.
Right.
You can see Can you see below him if you're looking at that sketch on the lower right-hand time, just to the left of health? It looks kind of like an S, but it's a scribble. That's called an ideogram. So I drew him, and I said, what about him? And I queried, like, what about him? And my pen made that blah, 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 that scribble, yeah. And I touched it. And the moment that I touched it, that's when the answer came to me. That's a method of my remote viewing, probing an ideogram. So, health. legal, depression, mental. All those words came to me when I touched that.
How fascinating.
Yeah.
Wow.
Elijah
All right.
Cummings. I said this
Next
was
one down.
for this month. Yeah, I saw this African-American politician, and I said, oh, he's going to have a scandal. There's going to be a scandal with an American congressman, black, and his wife has got some big ethics charges. It won't, not much will come of it because he's a Democrat. So.
All right, but look how Dick drew the man. His face, all the basic characteristics are there. The wide mouth. Look at it. That's remarkable to me.
Yeah. Well, sometimes, Jeff, I just let my hand do the drawing. It's my subconscious is able to do it. I don't really. Right. It just goes. So yeah, we'll see what comes of that.
Automatic art.
Yeah, and then there was a shooting, and I saw the number of flashes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I had 9, but there were 12, so I missed that. But yeah, I knew it was going to be at a building that was a government building. Like I said, institutional. I couldn't think of the word municipal, but yeah. I mean,
well, you had it. I mean, there it is.
Yeah.
There's just no question that you were on that event, period.
Well, yeah, you could say there's going to be a shooting next month, and that's a pretty good bet that you'll get that right. But I drew that the night before this happened. It was like one day before it.
NFEJ 690, is that what you worked on?
Yeah, that was my target ID.
Okay.
Near future events. I don't know why. J690.
Date?
Yeah. I just said near future events, and then I have a computer program spit out some other things, and then I associate that with, okay, this is what's going to happen. So let me see it. The fast hour.
Yeah, fascinating hour. I hope all of you enjoyed these. Take another look later on. Run through it a second time. Look at all of these examples. They're more than interesting. And in the future, we can have, it doesn't have to be once a month, Dick. If you want to have Edward on or Daz on and put some of their stuff up, whenever.
The moon thing that we did. Jeff, I just did a session on the future of the U.S. dollar, and it's quite dire. It's up on our Patreon site. People have to pay to see that.
Can you send it to me?
Yeah. It was.
If you can.
It was.
Yeah.
We talked about.
No, we're in the beginning of a massive reconfiguration of wealth and how it's dealt to the public and how it's used by the public and the big boys who are stepping into cryptos now. And again, I say all of you people who 2 years ago were freelancers, basically not institutional buyers, and who got burned, I hope you don't give up because you were right. You were right. Just the timing was wrong. But it's here now.
I'll be on next month, the 3rd of July, 3rd Monday in July, and I bet Bitcoin will be 12,000 or more. That's my prediction. We'll see. And hopefully...
All right.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk to you privately, Jeff. It's always good to be on your show. Thanks for having me, and take care.
All right, thanks, friend. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Bye-bye.
Richard Allgire and CryptoViewing.com. Well worth your time.